Hey everyone, back to you into today's second video update. We're just going to catch up on the JMA month ahead look ahead that we missed yesterday. We was away, so didn't get to do JMA Friday yesterday. Thought we'd catch up on it today. This update will take us through to the start of October. Can you believe? So have a look at the 500 with a high anomalies from the JMA model in a moment. Also have a look at the CFS V2 as well. But before I get on with that, just very quickly to make sure the ads, there's links to articles on all pages at gadservices.com. You have browse widgets, you had to click through. Thanks very much for doing that. The weekend forecast was released earlier on. If you want to know what's happening for the coming week, there's going to be lots of high pressure. If you want to know what's happening in terms of a detailed outlook for the coming week, you can find the video here on the homepage underneath the widgets link, the link widget, I should say. There's also the written page for the written version of weekend forecast. You can get to that by the homepage as well. So it's going to be a bit shorter than normal. We're not going to look at the corresponding temperature and precipitation anomalies as we would normally do so on a proper JMA Friday. So JMA Saturday is going to be a little bit shorter than normal, but hope you enjoy it anyway. So we're starting off with 500 millibar height anomaly charts. We've got the red, yellow and orange colours extrapolating to high pressure, and the blue colours are extrapolating to low pressure. The coming week is the first chart, so this is the 4th to the 11th of September. Let's get on with it. And we've got high pressure sitting here up to the north and the west of the country, with low pressure down to the south. So it's a good reflection of the weather coming up. High pressure is dominating and bringing in lots of dry weather across the country. Not necessarily all that hot, but I think it will gradually warm up through the course of the coming week. The second weekly period, going from the 11th through to the 18th of September, shows the yellow colours right in there over the country. So going to be a very dry and fine spell going on into the second half of the month, up to the middle of the month, maybe just in the second half of the month as well. That high pressure really is very dominant across the country, so there'll be loads of dry weather with that one. And then as we go through to the 3rd and 4th week periods, this will take us from the 18th of September through to the 2nd of October, we find the ridge gradually slipping back a little bit towards Scandinavia. Troughs of low pressure in the Atlantic. The jet stream is going a bit like that. So overall, this is probably a breakdown period into the sort of final 10 days or so of September. We're probably finding low pressure coming in off the Atlantic as the high pressure sort of gets pushed back in towards eastern and northeastern parts of Europe. So the general flow, I think, will be to push that high pressure away and gradually turn it more into south. This showed up in the September month-ahead forecast. It would have a lot of dry weather in the first half, and then probably breaking it down to a cooler and more unsettled pattern in the second half. But JMA still seems to be sticking with that idea. What about the CFS V2? Again, these are 500 millibar high dominance, broken down into weekly periods. So the first weekly period takes us from the 5th to the 11th of September. Virtually identical to the JMA, really, with high pressure in there, above average heights dominating very close to the country. Flow goes something like that. Again, it's not necessarily all that hot because it's sort of more easterly, northeasterly in terms of the origins of the air mass. Although with high pressure sitting over the top of the country, you would expect things to gradually turn a little bit warmer as we lose sort of a direct northerly that we've had recently. Now, this is quite interesting. This is the week going from the 12th to the 18th of September, and this is more unsettled than what we saw with the JMA. So already at this point, we've got the above average heights of high pressure receding back into Scandinavia as this trough of low pressure moves in from the Atlantic, also going to the south of the country. It means that the jet stream and the flow is going rather like that. So it is turning more unsettled there already up to the middle part of the month. Whereas the JMA wants to keep this as a settled period, but no, the CFS wants to bring the Atlantic back. Could be a little bit progressive in doing this, but certainly that's what the CFS is seeing anyway. But by the time you get to mid-month, that high pressure is already receding back, and allowing the low pressure in from the Atlantic Ocean. And then the next one is a very unsettled period, but high pressure there, the above average heights gone right the way back towards western parts of Russia, and that's got a trough of low pressure sitting right over top of the country. So that would be pretty cool. Actually, because we'd be bringing down, with the position of the high pressure and the trough, we'd be bringing down the flow and the air masses from a sort of the easterly, northerly or northeasterly direction. It would also be very unsettled with this low pressure over country per trough, producing quite a lot of heavy rain. That's for week 19th to 25th. That is in line with the JMA, which at this point is now starting to show things breaking down. And then finally, we end up the week from the 26th of September through to the 2nd of October, with the ridge coming back, but centred to the north of Scotland. So that's in a pretty cool position. We will be bringing down a northeasterly flow, probably that, maybe even northerly. And early October, it's not out of the realms of impossibility that we could have frost with that, with the position at that ridge of high pressure. It looks like quite a cool monthly period coming up. Whichever model we look at, the JMA or the CFS V2, they both look pretty cool. Actually, it's just they're differing a little bit in terms of this breakdown that's coming sometime, or probably coming sometime through the middle of September, and then where we end up as we start October. So that's how the two models are looking for this week's JMA update. It looks like we're going to get some sort of breakdown. I think we're going to have a lot of high pressure through the first, well, already started September, of course, but certainly the first 10 days of the month, up to the middle part of the month, a lot of high pressure. Sometime then, I think we're going to get a breakdown. Now, whether this happens fairly early on, as the CFS wants to do, whether it's delayed until sort of the third week of the month, as the JMA wants to do, I think we will get a breakdown. So the second half of September is likely to be significantly more unsettled than the first half. Just depends when that happens, but I think it probably is going to happen. Second half significantly more unsettled. And then we go through to the start of October, and the CFS looks quite interesting, because that looks quite cold to me, that chart from the CFS. So we could have a pretty chilly start to October, just as we've had for September. And, of course, by the time we get to the start of October, we are definitely, with the chance of getting some proper overnight frost as well. So it's all looking pretty seasonal, I have to say. A lot of dry weather first half of September, more unsettled in the second half. That's it for now, and thanks so much for watching. Just to say, tomorrow it will be the first update for the winter of 2015-2016. We're looking at things like El Nino, solar activity, all of that kind of thing. And I want to have a bit of a mention of the OPI, which is something that we looked at a lot last year. So we'll be doing that tomorrow. Come back for that. That's all for now then. Thanks for watching.